Hi guys, my name is Chris and you're watching Wrestling Today, so let's start with hours after WWE Crown Jewel got a sixth match in the form of John Cena vs Solo Sikoa. It got a seventh one in the form of Sky vs Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Championship. Belair announced the match during a promo on WWE SmackDown. The contest is an inverted rematch from WWE Backlash, which took place in San Juan, Puerto Rico, back in May, only with Belair as the champion and Sky as the challenger. The match was Belair's last successful defense of the Raw Women's Championship before it was taken by Asuka at Night of Champions, also in Saudi Arabia, and subsequently rebranded the WWE Women's Championship. The match also saw the San Juan crowd vocally cheering for Sky despite Belair being the babyface. It arguably began the wave of momentum that Sky rode to all the women's Money in the Bank briefcase and eventually the title, which she took from Belair at SummerSlam moments after Belair had won the belt back. Belair returned to WWE programming on last week's episode of SmackDown following Sky's successful title defense against Charlotte Flair. Belair went straight for Sky and her damage control cohorts, who attacked Belair backstage in August to write her off TV for a while. The night of her return, Belair delivered a KOD to Bayley. In addition to her championship challenge in Riyadh on November 4th, Belair will also go one-on-one with Bayley on November 3rd. Spoilers for the show, which will be pre-taped, indicate Belair vs Bayley will be the main event. The next story is about Ronda Rousey visited the Lucha Vavoom event at the Mayan Theater in Los Angeles. She participated in a spontaneous match, teaming up with Marina Shaffer. The two members of the Four Horsewomen of MMA had a tag team match against Taya Valkyrie and Brian Kendrick. That was not a match anyone expected at all, despite the fact that Rousey sat in the front row of the show and wrestlers played to her throughout the event. We previously reported why Ronda Rousey worked that indie show, and that she might do more appearances. This is very interesting, and Tony Khan may be a player in this situation soon enough, but should he lay down the money for the baddest woman on the planet's services? During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that AEW might not bring Ronda Rousey in. At this stage in her career, she can pick her own dates, but the bloom is off the rose when it comes to Rousey wrestling, so it may not be the most cost-effective option. It's funny because, I don't know if she's cost-effective for AEW. Because, you know, what she made with WWE, everyone's cost-effective with WWE, but with AEW, it's like the bloom is off the rose. I mean, yeah, people talk about her and everything like that, but the bloom's kinda off the rose. The novelty effect of Ronda Rousey as a wrestler, it's been more and more years since she fought, and she's not the celebrity that she was when she was a fighter. I wouldn't rule it out or anything, especially with all the people AEW does bring in. I wouldn't rule it out, but it wouldn't be a move that I would make now. It was also noted that, I suppose if you get Mercedes Moné, then that could open a door for that possibility, but she didn't knock them dead on her last WWE run. There could be some possibilities out there, but it doesn't look like a foregone conclusion that Rousey will end up in AEW. Tony Khan has a lot of things to handle right now in his own company. Bringing in Ronda Rousey may get him some headlines, but the real question remains about whether it will pop any kind of viewership number. After all, AEW really needs viewers, however they can get them right now. What's your take on Ronda Rousey's next move in pro wrestling? Should she go to AEW and give that a try? The final story is about we previously reported that Roman Reigns is not working Survivor Series. This is a bit of a shock for fans who expected to see the Tribal Chief on WWE's final pay-per-view event of 2023. That being said, all signs point to the fact that he is not going to be at the show. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer remarked that Roman Reigns not working Survivor Series shows off exactly how much leverage he has in WWE. After all, Survivor Series is traditionally considered one of WWE's Big Four pay-per-view events. Dave said it's funny because you look at WWE and everything and go, the wrestlers don't have leverage, but obviously he has leverage, because it's one thing to do less days like a Randy Orton schedule, or a Bryan Danielson schedule like they offered to keep him, but it wasn't like they were turning down pay-per-view dates. Survivor Series is a major pay-per-view event, so yeah, I thought he wasn't going to do some of the B events, and he'll do Saudi Arabia and the Big Four, and if Survivor Series is in that Big Four, and he's not doing that, that tells you that he's very limited in the dates. It's weird that he's not doing Survivor Series, but he did that house show in Kansas City against Sami Zayn. It's interesting. WWE has Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia on November 4th, but they need to turn it around in 21 days for Survivor Series in a sold-out all-state arena in Chicago. Only time will tell how WWE books their final pay-per-view of 2023, but they will likely do it without Roman Reigns on the card. What's your take on Roman Reigns missing so many events? Thanks guys for watching and please subscribe.